All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Hajime no Ippo, Season 3, Episode 19.
I do believe that we're about to get a Takamura versus David Eagle fight.
I'm so ready.
Yeah,
Eagle has been one of those kind of newly introduced boxers where I really am excited to see his backstory, his general background, and what makes him come alive in the arena.
Yeah.
A couple of the boxers you see every once in a while, they're so professional and stoic and just good-natured outside the ring that you're like, I
don't see it.
What's the personality? But this guy, no, he takes this seriously. He saw Brian Hawk as a bit of a rival that he could never fight, given that he was outside the weight class.
Right, but if someone were to challenge him, it would be Brian Hawk coming up a weight class for him. So
exactly.
Takamura
took that for him.
Yeah, laid him low.
Yeah, and came up a weight class. So now it's literally like what you'd always want, except this guy took him out of the, boxing maybe even.
Right, so who is this monster that he's up against?
But is this bear?
Yeah. But I am really excited to see Takamura go up against someone that just is simple and ridiculously good. 1-2.
Yeah. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. God, the birds of prey.
Okay.
They're at it.
Here we go.
They're at it.
And I gotta say,
God.
So one of the things that I was kind of curious about with regards to Eagle when he was introduced is that with Hawk, it was something where he was so extreme, and then he was also the first time that Takamura had ever had to face someone at the world stage, right? Where it's like, okay, world championship, here we go, right? World title. And then Takamura also had the disadvantage of being kept at that low weight for so long, right?
Right. Because they adjusted the scheduling to screw with him. Yeah.
Yep. In this situation, I was curious how they were going to make Eagle really seem terrifying, given what Hawk was, right?
Yeah.
Like if Takamura beat Hawk,
to be different.
Yeah, it would have to be different. But then at the same time, given the fact that Takamura is now on his let's not just get 2 belts. Let's go through all 6, right?
Yeah.
Let's go until I'm at the heavyweight, right?
Yeah.
How do you make number 2 feel terrifying? This is how. He is Takamura's natural counter, and when it comes right down to it, in the fight, he's just calm, collected, and he just keeps coming, right?
Yeah. And he also I love the idea they use the chess analogy here. One of the things that you kind of see a lot when people play chess and they're at that kind of moderate level is once they smell the slightest bit of blood in the water, they just go all in on that, expecting the game to be more of a 50-50.
Right.
Where it's in the minute I get that 52-48 kind of advantage, I'm going all in on that. I'm trading down my pieces. I'm just trying to make the biggest, baddest attack all at once. But you'll see the chess masters and stuff, they're thinking 7 to 12 moves ahead every single move. So when they see that very basic kind of strategy there, they go, oh, okay, since you're going to be doing that, I will offer those to you in exchange for positional advantage. That's going to help me 7 or 10 moves down the line. And he basically does that here where he's like, okay, I'm going to give you round 1. You definitely are the stronger boxer in terms of physicality.
Yeah.
So you narrowly Eagle barely missed a kill punch.
Right.
When he got that jab off and then on the momentum, he blinked off of the jab because it stunned him for the slightest half second. And the right was coming in. And
he just managed to get out
barely
of the
missed
way.
it. And we saw in his eyes there
my life just flashed before my eyes.
And then he entirely shifted his strategy to defense.
Yep.
And basically being
slow.
all right, I'm going to react to you rather than trying to set my pace in this round. And then in the second round, that's when he's like, all right, I've
got this.
observed you. I've got this.
Yep.
This is now my match to take.
And so one of the other things that I thought was kind of interesting with how they did this match, one of the patterns that I've noticed with Ippo is that whenever especially our main character, like the one that we're rooting for, Takamura, Ippo, Miata,
Sure.
Whoever it is, does something that's really good, then usually there's some kind of upset, right? And Aoki and Kimura will be like, "Oh my god, this is great," right? And then whoever is in the stands, whether it's Takamura
Who's a
or
little bit more experienced.
yeah, someone who's more experienced will be like,
It like 3
actually,
or 4 times this episode.
right. Actually, hold on.
Right.
This isn't necessarily like, let's give you some extra insight, right?
Yeah.
And it helps keep the tension high. But one of the things that I was kind of curious how they were going to handle with that is that's a 1-2. That's very straightforward, right? But we get the feeling that Takamura is actually going to win this fight, right? Because this is his story.
It's just his second one,
Yeah, right. This is the second one. He's got to go the distance. Like that's the whole point. He wouldn't have the pompadour otherwise.
And also, I'm sorry, David Eagle, but we just heard about you.
Yes.
So
like Hawk had a lot more build up.
Yeah, build up.
And like your press conference got thrown in with Aoki and Kimura's silly matches. So yeah. But the fact that we saw Eagle be like, "No, I'm fighting for my life out there," that actually makes me more confident in Eagle's ability to potentially win this match than if he hadn't said that.
Yeah, he won't lose his cool.
Right, exactly. Because
in the fundamentals.
Right, because that's the thing that he has hands down over Takamura.
Hands
Takamura
down.
will not beat him on a game of keeping a cool head, right?
Nope.
That is just not going to happen. And that strength Eagle is going to keep through the end of the match. Now, okay.
No, for most of the match, at least.
For most of the match. And I'm guessing he's going to not that he'll keep the strength at the level it is right now. I think it will crack over the course of the match because he is going to get defeated. But I think he'll still have it at a higher degree than Takamura throughout the whole match.
Oh yeah, I don't think it'll ever be a thing of where it will get completely overturned and then for the majority of the match it'll be like that. But it's the one thing that he can weaken Takamura with, and that is that Takamura has way too much ego attached to the way that he boxes.
And Eagle doesn't.
One of the things that we seen with the build-up for Eagle that I thought made him in some ways an even more exciting matchup than Brian Hawk is that Hawk, I've seen his character in fiction more often actually than I've seen Eagles. Eagles
Same.
I've seen more often in reality.
Yeah.
With Eagle, I've seen people who, at lower levels of competitiveness, basically.
Not as Superman-esque, but...
Exactly. But like, of course, because I don't know anyone on the world stage of anything anywhere near, or even the national level. But like, that kind of professionalism, that athleticism, that, I would say, that reserved power in check, where this person obviously is one of the most badass people on the planet with regards to boxing. He apparently was an Olympic gold medalist as well and has never lost a match and has become a world champion in 15 matches in his professional career.
That's insane.
The guy does not know defeat, and yet he has no ego.
Right.
So when I see him go up...
That's one hell of a combo.
It is one hell of a combo, but when I see him go up against Takamura and have fear regarding his punches, and it entirely shift his boxing style from round one, that is also the way in which he's probably going to lose. His holding back his punches here is something that will psychologically enrage the beast and make him more predictable so that you can build up and do these stronger punches later. But I bet you anything, at the end of the match, he's going to go, I don't know, but maybe I was... maybe there was a little bit of me that was excited that I was getting to face Brian Hawk. And I should have not pulled my punches in the second round. I think.
Okay.
Because while that's a really good idea to rile him up, and he is getting him handily here.
Takamura started throwing a bunch of very kind of lazy punches as a result of that.
Yeah. Big, sweeping, wide. Like, they look really cool.
And they would have been terrifying if they hit him, and Eagle is aware of that, right?
Yes.
The fear is setting in, but they're easy to deal with.
Yeah.
They're dangerous, but they're easy to deal with.
Yeah, it feels like the kind of thing where if Takamura is using that bravado in a way to make him seem predictable, all Takamura has to do is lull him into the false sense of security that this is the way he's going to be boxing for the rest of the match, and then just pull a fast one on him when he gets predictable in how he responds to it.
Sure, and that is, and Takamura did say that he has a plan, so I'm curious to see how that goes. As far as the whole thing of the pulling the punches early and the being scared and everything, that feels like it's the I would say that Eagle was stupid if he wasn't scared of
Takamura's
punches.
Absolutely.
Right?
That's why we respect him.
Actually. Yeah, like it shows he's got a good head on his shoulders, right? He's not going to get overconfident, which is something that I would expect. Like, well, say if he was Hawk, right? Yeah, a typical weakness, especially when you have had the hand of Midas. Everything you touch turns to gold, right? You might believe in that a bit too much. He has that good reassurance and self-awareness of his own mortality, memento mori, right? He could die at any moment. His career, his time in the spotlight could be over in a flash, right? He was aware that Hawk could actually theoretically beat him if he didn't do things right. And so he comes here and he still faces Takamura, but he comes in with a game plan, right?
Right. And I love the idea of chaos versus order kind of being
it's a very mythic conflict, I feel like.
Being the primary way in which they are the opposites. So if Takamura's unorthodox kind of street brawler style is something that will surprise him, because it does.
Yes.
While Takamura is not landing these punches, they are getting blocked, which means that he is not slow. Well, sorry, let's take it in the positive.
Takamura is fast.
Takamura is very fast, and despite his punches coming in really strange ways, this is actually his own way of wielding psychological warfare against Eagle.
Sure.
In that he's saying,
it's the territorial threat
display. Do you
display.
know how many weird weapons I can pull out on you? And how often do you think you'll be able to block these? 100% of the time? 95% of the time?
What happens in those 5%?
What happens in those weird, off moments where your footwork isn't right?
Yeah.
So if Eagle gets too obsessed with his perfection, he might not be able to do enough damage to Takamura fast enough to where Takamura, because we've seen Takamura bounce back.
Yeah.
Like we've seen him
he literally bounced back in this episode and to catch on to the ropes. Yeah.
Right. I could just see this being a match where if it becomes a stamina endurance battle, Takamura will win because he's finally at his natural state with regards to weight and stuff.
I kind of disagree.
But if the match goes for maybe only a few more rounds, I think that I mean because Takamura has to win, right? But I really think that this could be one of those matches that goes for the extremely long game, because if Eagle is not doing 100% maximum output right now because of riling him up and also because of fear of his punches, but Takamura is not able to go all out because he's having all his punches blocked and stuff, this could just be a fight where they end up wearing each other down and it becomes a really slow, drawn out match.
Well, what I understood is that there was a point where they were talking about it, and it was like, okay, now these are real punches, like in the episode where he transitioned into, okay, I've gotten him thoroughly riled up. All right, now I'll actually give the real punches when he does the wild shots, right? Because they're big, they're wide, they're open, and I can take that risk basically to put everything into these hits I'm landing on him.
Yeah, it's right about, I would say, about the halfway point. Takamura gets really exposed with a counter here. I think
and he kind of gets thrown off his balance, and then...
Oh, no, that's the point. The halfway point is where he throws the half-assed punch to kind of rile him. But it's around the 2/3 of the way point where he goes in. Oh wait, actually, did Takamura land a hit here with his crazy punch, which was like the big angle?
he was just busting through his block. Like he was busting through his guard, but they weren't actually having impact. There were a bunch of near misses where it grazed his cheek and things like that.
Yeah. He definitely broke the guard, but he wasn't able to follow it because they were so wide and weird.
Right, and that's why I think in a battle of endurance, Takamura's actually would lose, is because he hasn't been actually landing punches, and Eagle has. 2,
It'll become just who's faster.
well, Eagle's the Olympic gold medalist. Energy is probably not going to be his problem. His problem, I'm guessing, is going to be the fact that when it comes to raw power of the punches, he doesn't actually match up to Takamura, right?
Okay.
And so if Takamura can start landing punches, great. But so far, he's only landed the one.
Yeah.
That is not looking good for him. And while I do think Takamura is eventually going to win, I'm really curious of how he wins. Because in the case of Takamura versus Hawk, that was a battle of ideals, right?
Yeah.
And it was something where, because Hawk didn't have, the friends and the people in his corner, he and also because Takamura was just that bit better, right? He ended up losing. In this situation, I want to see Takamura learn from Eagle. I want to see it be something where, even though he beats Eagle here, it's not just, I beat you, I'm better, and now I move on. I want to see something where Takamura levels up, and in an area where he wouldn't level up against anyone other than Eagle. Because the way that Eagle fights here, this is damn impressive, right? And this is something that Takamura does need to learn. The fact that he has so much ego wrapped up in boxing, that he's like, no strategizing in boxing, right? He's already starting to learn in that he's coming up with the plan, right?
Takamura uses plans.
Well, okay, yeah.
Every match except for the one that he
uses
ended in
tactics.
one punch.
Right.
He uses tactics.
Yeah, he uses tactics. But he doesn't necessarily strategize, right?
Well, I mean, it kind of does. Yeah. It's a different type of strategy in that we don't see it usually through Takamura's strict inner monologue kind of perspective.
Any strategizing that he does, I'm guessing, is subconscious because he has such a conscious aversion to it, right? He doesn't doesn't want to do it, right? Because he's boxing. This is where he lets the animal out. He turns into a bear and he destroys the person that's trapped in here with him, right? Whoever's unfortunate enough to be in the ring, right? But if he wants to go to the full distance, like heavyweight, world champion, all of that, which he's going to do, right? He's going to do that. Then learning this bit of refinement from Eagle, that I feel like is the balancing act of it's the yin to the yang of the fight with Hawk.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just think it's a bit of a disservice to Takamura's ability to say that he doesn't plan as much, because it's a thing of where he doesn't immediately just go street brawler, let the animal out. He uses really strong fundamental boxing for the most part.
Yeah.
It's when he's usually in the, okay, I can't beat them with just that.
Right. The street brawler is where he thrives, but he does know how to. Kamigawa has taught him well. He knows how to do the regimented, foundational type stuff. Yeah.
In some ways, that was something that helped him a lot against Hawk, because Hawk did the animal thing even better than Takamura did in the beginning.
Sure. Yeah.
At least in the beginning. Because Takamura's, boxing style was one that,
compared to Hawk, I mean, and that's not saying much, because Hawk was about as unorthodox as you could get, right?
Hawk was doing the whole woo, I'm gonna leave the camera angle, y'all.
Right.
So if anything, if Takamura leans more into the Hawk stuff, kind of the attacking from strange angles and stuff. Yeah, I'm with you. He needs to maybe do the opposite and try going into some technique stealing, if you will, from our golden eagle here.
Because it's perfectly possible that Takamura could be good enough with all the other tools in his belt that he doesn't need to rely on the okay, let's get surgical with this, type boxing, right? But that in my mind, that will just mean that, okay, you checked in and your numbers were big enough that you were able to win, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you really improved. You just maybe are more familiar with fighting different kinds of opponents, but your own way of boxing didn't actually get better. And he could totally be at that point right now, because he is a freak of nature, right? There's a reason why he fought a bear and won. you know, like it was done for comedy, but at the same time, that's terrifying.
It's the angels that look out for dumb idiots that go into.
I'm trying
to remember what that quote is from, but there's a special like spirit guardian or what have you for stupid people like that.
Right. I think it might have been like a Tintin comic or something.
It is something, but basically it's just Takamura. He charges and brawls his way into some situations he should not be able to get out of.
Right.
But here, if he's being out strategized, like you were saying, and that his tactics are not going to work here, he will need to start using some different tactics at the very least, and possibly develop a strategy.
Yeah.
And that, to me, with Takamura implementing a strategy, feels like there must be some adjustment time, which means I think that this round will go for a long time, which means I think it will turn into then a stamina battle.
Okay.
Which, if we think Takamura is going to win...
Yeah, I don't know. So,
yeah.
I could totally see Takamura winning a stamina battle if the status quo changed, you know, if
he
started
to change.
Well, right, but once he starts actually landing punches, then okay, I could see him winning a stamina battle, you know.
Jacob, in order for him to win, he has to land punches. Let's assume he starts landing punches. Therefore, the status quo will change.
At what point?
It doesn't matter.
If Eagle's able to keep this up for 3 more rounds,
time travel will be invented at some point because it's irrelevant when.
No, I get it.
If we assume time travel is a thing, it doesn't matter when it's invented. Yeah.
Well, okay, let me just say this: if Takamura somehow wins and he only starts actually getting punches that connect in the final round, then I will, you know, like.
Right. I would say, if anything, we could maybe see a non-ego-based style from Takamura where he goes into like really, like, I don't know, like kind of like tricky things, like clinching even. Like, can you imagine a Takamura that's like, oh no, I clinch, I kill your counter.
Whoa.
And then boom, body blow. Like, that's dirty, but
yes,
it would work because that's the one thing he keeps baiting, which means it's probably a psychological message that don't go there because I'll counter you, but it's probably also his weak point. Like, it's probably one of those places where he.
But I feel like it's a different situation than whoever it was with. I think it might have been one of the Goofy fights, or maybe it was Miata. I can't remember. But it was one of the Goofy fights where they couldn't take the body blows very well. And I don't see Eagle as having any weaknesses. Like
really?
Yeah, I see him as being someone whose stats are even across the board. They're terrifyingly even across the board.
So then he has no overwhelming strengths.
Right, but Takamura does have those, and that's where he could beat him. You know, but
ferocity and just punching power.
Right, but like Takamura has already started to leave a bit of the ego to the side because when he got knocked down, it wasn't a hard hit, but he did stay there. That was a message that landed of, okay.
Like, I could have followed up on that.
Right, like this is
you are not a world-class boxer.
This is a kind of fight that I'm not used to. All right, God. I'm gonna catch my breath, take the full time, and then go back into it.
Do you realize how much they're doing the classic reversal of what would have been I'm the American hero boxer?
Yep.
Because he comes in to the other nation. Everyone is rooting for the other guy. He has very moderate kind of boxing, very clean professional boxing.
Takamura is the hulked out,
rage, like torn across his chest, bare scars, coming in with these wide sweeping punches that if any of them hit him, he would lose.
This feels very
fighting for his life, you know.
This feels very Rocky IV with like Takamura would have been the one to be like, 2,000 pounds of force of
Oh, Rocky IV.
Yeah. But Takamura is
the scrappy one.
No. What's I forget the name of
Drago.
Yeah, Ivan Drago.
Drago. That fight. That was one of the dumbest of all the Rocky. Anyway, but y'all, this is a good start to a fight.
Yep.
We're headed into the third round, I believe, which means like we haven't gotten through that much potentially.
Did we just finish the third round, or are we
just
going
finished
into
the second round?
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I've only heard 2 bells ring. those are the things that I'm very good at keeping track of. I'm not keeping track of the thing. I'm not good at keeping track when they go ding, 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 and then suddenly it's like round 6, you know?
Oh,
like, that's the part where I always go, wait.
Yeah, hold on, they time skipped. What, yeah.
Right. But the bell only rang twice. What?
Right, the bells. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Hajime no Ippo.
Yeah. But
bells for Takamura.
I want to see Eagle really give Takamura a run for his money, and he has been so far. And I want to see that maintained because Takamura, like, I feel like it's almost like a Joker kind of a thing. This city deserves a better class of criminal. Like
sure.
Get that pressure put on Takamura. That way he can evolve and grow and turn into the even more terrifying monstrosity of a boxer that we know he is. So, yeah.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.